So lesson 6 is really similar to lesson 2. So remember how lesson 2, we broke it into two inequalities. So we had two inequalities on the same graph, and they were either facing each other or opposite directions. That's what these are going to be. So yeah, but in this case, it's going to be or and inequalities. The or inequalities, because it's this or that, space apart. The and ones mean that they're combined, so they face in. So looking at this, we just kind of take each one separately. So x is greater than 5, greater than 5, open circle, greater than goes this way. X is less than 3, so we go to 3, an open circle, going the other direction. And that's it. So, like I said, pretty much identical to the absolute value inequalities, just without that first step. Next one, well, I'll have you do B on your own. So pause for a second and see what you can do for B for me. So hopefully you paused and actually tried B. This first one should be an open circle at 2 going this direction. The second one should be a closed circle because it's got the line underneath. They can be different, doesn't matter. And then it's going this direction. What's a little bit more complicated with C is that it's the and. So we kind of start with one side. So let's do the easy side first, the obvious side. Okay, so that says x is greater than -8. So we're going to start there, and it's going this way. The other one, if we're looking at that, it's backwards. So in order to understand what that's saying, we're going to rewrite it. So to rewrite it, we flip them, and then we flip that, which means that now x is less than 10. So we're going to put an open circle at 10, and they're going to meet in the middle, right? So they're going to meet in the middle, and that's and. So that's when they both go in the same direction and kind of touch. If you, let's do D really quick. So looking at that, this tells me it's a closed circle at 5, and then it goes this direction. This is a closed circle at -6, going that direction. All right, so hopefully those are kind of familiar from lesson 2 and a little bit more straightforward. Now we're going to make it a little bit more complicated, and we have to solve some things first. So thinking about example 3 or 4, well, lesson 3 or 4 and 2 kind of mesh together. So instead of one inequality we have to solve both to get the answer. So let's start them separately. Draw the river. Opposite of adding 5 is to subtract 5 on both sides. X is greater than 1, so that's our first one. The second one has implied multiplication, so we do the opposite and we divide on both sides. We divide by 6, and we get x is less than or equal to 3. And then we're going to graph those. So at 3, it's a closed circle going this way. I went too far because at 1, it's an open circle going this way. So they meet right there. Okay, so you just solve them and then graph them. All right, so let's start solving this next one. We have to do the opposite of division. So we have to multiply both sides by 4. And we get x greater than or equal to 8. So we got a closed circle. That's at 6, not 8. So at 8, we got a closed circle going this way. All right. Next one, the opposite of adding 16 is to subtract 16 on both sides. You get x is less than or equal to -6. Then at -6, we'll have a closed circle going to the left. All right. Try C on your own for me. So pause the video and try C. Hopefully you paused and actually tried it, but we are going to start by dividing 10, and that's greater than -4. So -4, not a closed circle, an open circle, is going in. Okay, this next one, we have to multiply by -1 on both sides. So we get x -2, because we multiply by a negative, this flips. So now it's facing that way. So we'll have an open circle at -2. So then they're real close to each other, facing in. Okay, and that's because our or turned into an and when we divided by that negative. So just because it says or and doesn't really mean which way it's going to be. Okay. Now you just have the homework to do. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions.